Welcome back to Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Fam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, The Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back to Livie'S Lovelies. I'm here in the Lovely Lab and ready to share this wonderful announcement that I, your hostess with the mostest, Fabulous Fam, have been chosen as one of the first design team members for Pleasant Creations Company. Now that's a shop on Etsy, and it is owned and ran by none other than our favorite, I think she calls herself Lotus Blossom, lovable Lotus Blossom, Lizzie. She has a YouTube channel and it's called Liz for a Day, and I'm also a member of her Facebook group Junk Journal Buddies. So I'm going to link below her Etsy shop, her YouTube channel, as well as the Facebook group, so that if you are in the market of learning how to create junk journals in addition to ephemera and other supplies, other different things that you can use in your junk journals and journals alike, you'll be able to check out her channel. And honestly, that's kind of where I learned how to create the journal that I have started. So as the design team member that I've been chosen to be, I have decided to create my very first prayer journal. Now I'm creating this for a friend who, I'm just going to say for a friend, a local friend, because if I say too much and she's watching, then she'll know it's for her, and she don't need to know just yet until she receives it. Anyway, so I've started off, and I'm just going to show in this video what I've started with, and in upcoming videos we'll put together different aspects of it. And I want to just stop for a second so that I can insert a screenshot of Liz's Etsy shop, so you get an idea of the elements and the products that she has. She has ephemera, she has digitals, and I've actually used the digitals in this journal. So once you pay for them and download them, you're free to use them over and over again, which I absolutely love, because I have a variety of different things that I want to use the digitals for, like cards and scrapbooking, as well as the journals. So she has the ephemera in her shop. She has stamps, templates. She also has her handmade junk journals, and they're absolutely beautiful. They're custom made with intricate fabrics, vintage fabrics and intricate details, and they're all one of a kind. She also has with collage sheets, as well as like vintage vocabulary cards and tickets and things like that, bingo cards. She has some items that are ready to ship, as well as the digital download. So for less than $10, you honestly could download a kit using different elements and create your own journal. So with all that being said, I'm going to let you guys check that out, and coming back here, let's take a look at what I started. So the first thing that I had to do was I wanted to create the cover, and using some techniques that I've picked up, I've created a collage sheet. So what this was a 12 by 12 sheet that I got out of the Destinations paper kit that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and then using a napkin that I received as in Happy Mail from Tam of Tam's Journals and Bibling on a Budget. The rose and the musical sheet, the musical notes and the butterfly is the napkin. And then I used a stencil, and I want to say, I can't remember whose paint this is, but it might have even been a spray ink. Used the stencil on that, and then I used a stamp by all of the stuff you'll see in upcoming videos. Stamp for the, looks like little bubbles, if you can see that. like little bubbles there. So the butterfly itself is a napkin, and then around it there's just a little bit of a textured look. Okay, so I did that, decoupaged that on there, and then I used some coffee dyed paper to wrap around the edges just to reinforce it. And then once I stitched this together, I'm not sure which stitch in which video I'm going to do that in, it will create a little pocket there. So now let's go through some of the pages. This is a vellum sheet. Actually, I got this upside down. This is a vellum sheet. This will be the front. The vellum sheet that I got in a Christmas kit. And I'll zoom in so you guys can see this a little better. A paper, Christmas paper kit. And then this is coffee dyed paper. I've coffee dyed that myself. This is paper from a Walmart paper pad from a couple years ago. This is a coffee dyed cheap Dollar Tree doily from a pack that I bought. This paper I just punched to make a pocket, folded it and punched it. This actually is from my son's one of his workbooks, science workbooks. And if you look up close, there's a little bit of a scripture from one of those miniature Bibles that you get from Dollar Tree. And I think that's from, I want to say it's Psalms, but it might be Matthew 5. Beatitudes. Yes, that's the Beatitudes. And then here's some grid paper that I just punched the top of. Added some paper here to make a journaling spot, in addition to some coffee stained lined paper, printable, that I had to grab out of my son's last year's folder of unused papers. Here's an envelope that I received a birthday card in, and that'll serve as a pocket as well. Here's a journaling spot. And then this is, if you look closely, this is the paper that kids learn to write on. So that's a journaling spot. And then I'll plan on adding some ephemera throughout this to personalize it, as well as to make it cohesive, you know, with the butterfly theme and so on and so forth. As well as to emphasize the theme of it, which is a prayer journal. More journaling spots. I wanted to make sure that there was enough space for the recipient to be able to write their prayers or anything that they wanted to, you know, any thoughts that they had maybe on a Bible study or a devotion. And this I have to sew to make a pocket here in a journaling spot. And then here is just a newspaper. No, it's not. It's a local magazine from our town. And journaling spot. And then I'll add, as I mentioned before, I'll add some ephemera throughout to make it pretty. So that is it. And I think it's about 16 pages. But let's just see, all in all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16, and with about 5 of those, 6 of them being pockets, in addition to this spot here, this spot here. And as I add the ephemera, I'll also create tuck spots, you know, like in the corners and what have you. Just extra places for little notes to be tucked in and little prayers to be added to. And so I have that. And then I've also created, let me see how much time we got here. Okay, I got a few more minutes. Now, as I was doing that, I did keep my scraps, because this is what I'm going to use to make some embellishment clusters to add in here. And then right now I'm in the process of finishing up some journal cards. So I made that for myself. So right now, these are the ones that I have already created. Now, what I did was I took my son's index cards that he used for math from last year that already had numbers on them, and I tea-dyed them because I didn't want them too dark, and I didn't want them to be too aged, but I wanted to give them some a variation of color. So that's what we have here. And then I just use the scraps to tie them in to what we already have in the journal. And I just love this one because it has with all your heart. Now these came from the Pleasant Creations kit that I downloaded. Pleasant Creations, I think it's called the Floral, and I'll drop a link below so that you can take a look at it. These tags. There's a scripture from Matthew, that's Matthew 4. Another one of her tags. And I have larger tags that I'm going to use as the tuck spots. Here's a tag. And by the way, these are journal cards / tags, so however you want to call it, that's what they are. I loved how this came out with the map foil. And a little bit of, there's Matthew 3:10. Okay. Then we have another one of the digitals, and I downloaded those and printed them onto just regular copy paper cardstock. These did not come out as bright as I wanted them to because I did not print them with photo settings, but they're perfectly fine. They're still very bright. I like the hue that they came out in. And this one is my favorite because I like the fact that even though it has a vintage feel, you know, has the age edges, it still has a modern, let's put it like that, a modern paper or print, if you will. So, you know, you kind of can make it your own. I love vintage, but I also like to have a modern feel to it. And you can accomplish that with very different papers and different. I don't have a lot of fabric in here, but I do plan on incorporating laces into the cards as well as the journal, and then that should bring it all together. And so I hope you will take a walk on over, or should I say your fingers should do a walk on over to Pleasant Creations, the Etsy shop, and maybe even check out Liz's YouTube channel, because if you have any inkling or desire to get started creating your own journals, that's a great place to start. And if you want to simply purchase one already made for someone else, head over to her Etsy shop. And so I hope you give this video a thumbs up because you liked it, and if you did, feel free to comment below. Let me know which of these cards you like, or if you're working on a journal, let me know what is your theme, if you plan on creating for a friend or for yourself. And tell me, how do you use your journals? Do you journal in them daily? Do you drop photos in them? Do you only create them for holidays? Let me know what's going on in your journaling world. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already a current subscriber. And if you're not a part of the crafting community, you don't want to miss anything here, okay? Now, until we're back here again on YouTube together, be sure to stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative and crafting. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafting community, and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.